Hi, everybody, and thank you so much for joining me today for our Monday Healing Steps Facebook Live in the Bridge to Healing community. And for those who are new or tuning in for the first time, I'm Janine Naus, your grief and trauma relief specialist, and I combine my personal experience and professional knowledge to support you in your healing journey. If you're watching the replay, go ahead and drop a pound replay in the comments. And if you're here with me live, go ahead and say hello and type pound live. I'd love to know that you're where you're joining me from here today. So today we're going to go ahead and explore something that so many trauma survivors wrestle with, sometimes even for years. And that's why your body still doesn't feel safe, even though the abuse is over. Now, if you've ever asked yourself, why do I still feel this way? Or shouldn't it be, I be over this by now? I want you to know that you are not alone. See, what we're gonna do today is we're gonna walk through this together, and I'll be sharing three key insights that can help you better understand your body, your healing, and the kind of gentle support that can guide you forward. And then we'll wrap up with a journaling prompt and the next step if you're ready to take this work deeper. So let's start with what happens inside the body when we've experienced trauma. Even when the actual threat is no longer present, your nervous system doesn't just bounce back. See, trauma wires the brain and body for survival. And when you've endured abuse, whether it's physical, emotional, sexual, or any kind of traumatic event, your nervous system learns to stay alert, to anticipate danger, and to survive. So, this is especially true when the trauma was ongoing or repeated. Your body learned, I'm not safe here, and it's internalized that message on a cellular level. So even after the abuse ends, your system stays in high alert mode. The body is still scanning for danger, and you might flinch at sounds or sudden movement. You may carry tension in your jaw, shoulders, or even your stomach. And it may feel like you can't relax even when everything around you seems calm. And you may overthink or anticipate worst case scenarios, feeling physically drained by what seems like simple tasks. So, this is your body remembering what your mind might try to forget. It's not weakness, it's just simply wiring. So, it's the imprint of the survival mode doing exactly what it was meant to do, keep you alive. And here's what's important to understand: you're not broken, your body isn't betraying you, it's just trying to protect you, and sometimes long after you need it. And when you realize your symptoms are your body's language, it's a way of asking for safety and care. And you can begin to respond with compassion instead of frustration. And you can shift from trying to force yourself into peace to gently guiding yourself there over time. And then if you've struggled with this for months or even years, it doesn't mean you failed at healing. It just simply means your body still needs time, safety, and understanding. So that's not a flaw. That's the nature of deep survival adaptation. So now that we understand this ongoing sense of threat, let's take a look at some of the common ways this shows up day to day, even if you worked really hard to heal. Now, if your body doesn't feel safe, it can affect almost every area of your life, and you may find it difficult to sit still or feel at ease. You might have difficulty falling asleep or even staying asleep. And you may have trouble trusting others, even those who've given you no reason not to. Or you might feel uncomfortable about being touched or even hugged without feeling activated or a tense feeling that you might have experienced. So it might show up as physical symptoms too. So you might have chronic pain, digestive issues, fatigue, or restlessness. And then feeling disconnected or like you're watching life instead of living it. This is because your nervous system has been operating in survival mode for so long, and it's become the norm. Hypervigilance becomes a baseline, and then over time, that constant tension can lead to burnout physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And you might also notice changes in appetite, increased irritability, or a sense of feeling emotionally numb. And these symptoms can be confusing or even frustrating, especially if you're doing all the right things and still don't feel better. So it's not that you're doing it wrong, it's that your nervous system is still learning how to feel safe again. And for many trauma survivors, there's a deep disconnection from the body. And you might feel numb, detached, or even angry at your body. And that's understandable. So your body was the place where the trauma occurred. And you may have learned to escape inward or disconnect to cope with the pain. And yet, your body is also the place where healing happens. So, this realization is the beginning of coming home to yourself. And healing doesn't begin with perfection, it begins with noticing, with gentleness, and with small acts of returning. And it begins with honoring your body's story instead of fighting it. So, how do we begin to rebuild that connection to help your body remember what safety feels like again? So, let's talk about that now. See, now that we've explored how trauma imprints on the body and how it shows up in daily life, let's now talk about something so important, and it's how to begin feeling safe in your body again. Healing your sense of safety in the body isn't about forcing yourself to feel calm or telling yourself everything's okay. It's not about pushing through or pretending you're further along than you are. It's about inviting safety in, one gentle moment at a time. And it's about creating space for your body to exhale without fear. And most importantly, it's about letting your body know that you're listening, that you won't rush in or shame it into healing, but that you're open to rebuilding trust together. So when you treat your body as an ally instead of an obstacle, healing becomes a partnership. So here are a few small but powerful ways to begin. So one is grounding with your senses. So what you want to do is try placing your hands on your heart and your belly, and then feel your feet on the floor. And then you look around and you're going to name 5 things that you can see. And these practices help reorient your nervous system to the present moment. And they remind you that your body, that you are not back there. You are here now and safe enough to notice it. Then 2 is breath work. So you want to breathe in for 4, counting to 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you want to hold for 4, 2, 3, 4. And then breathe out for 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then what you want to do is just go ahead and repeat the cycle a few times. Longer exhales help signal to the body that it's okay to soften. So even a few intentional breaths can downshift your nervous system from fight or flight into a calmer, more regulated state. Now, the third area is to offer gentle touch. That might be placing your hand on your chest or your cheek or using a soft blanket. And, just let your body associate touch with comfort instead of fear. And then over time, your body begins to remember not all touch means harm. So the fourth one is movement and gentle stretching, rocking, maybe swaying, or walking can help discharge stored survival energy without overwhelming the system. See, trauma often lives in stillness. Movement helps unlock it without force. And then the fifth is name safety out loud. So saying things like, right now, I'm okay, or this is a safe moment, that can help rewire your brain to acknowledge when safety is truly present. See, these small declarations help your inner world catch up with your outer reality. And these aren't about fixing everything at once. They're actually about giving your nervous system a chance to shift bit by bit toward regulation. So each of these practices is an invitation to your body, not a demand. And these practices may feel small, but they hold big power. They begin to replace fear with familiarity, stress with softness, alarm with an awareness, and with consistency, They create new evidence for your brain and body that safety is possible. And remember, your healing doesn't need to be dramatic to be effective. A small shift in how you breathe or hold yourself is a huge win. These are the moments that build your foundation softly, steadily, powerfully. So let's take a moment now to reflect and check in, because awareness without judgment is the first step toward meaningful change. So before we close, I want to invite you into a moment of reflection. Now, you've learned today that your body is not betraying you, it's protecting you. But what it needs now is new evidence of safety, created gently and intentionally. So let's ask this together. What helps me feel safe, even a little in my body? So we can ask that question again here. It's what helps me feel safe, even a little in my body? Now, this could be a certain room, a comforting scent, a song, a grounding practice, a conversation, or even a memory that reminds you of warmth and trust. And don't worry about finding the perfect answer. Just let your body respond honestly without pressure. Here are a few examples to guide you. So when I wrap up in my favorite blanket and feel its weight on me, when I walk near water and hear the sound of the ocean or the Gulf, when someone places their hand over mine and says, "You're not alone," what are yours? Start by tuning in and ask your body gently, "What do you need today from me?" And then just listen. No fixing, no forcing, just simply listening. And you might be surprised by what comes up. Your body has been carrying you through so much, and underneath the tension, it carries wisdom too. It remembers not only pain, but it also remembers moments of peace. This journal prompt isn't just a writing exercise, it's an act of reclaiming connection, a chance to begin trusting yourself again, one gentle question at a time. So let's take that awareness with us into the final thoughts for today, because every time you ask what safety feels like for you, you're building a foundation for healing that no one can take away. You're not alone in this, and as we close today, I want to acknowledge just how much strength it takes to do this work. Tuning into your body after trauma isn't easy. It can feel confusing, exhausting, and at times overwhelming. But every moment you choose to listen, even when it's uncomfortable, is an act of healing. You are not alone on this path, and have never have to walk it without support. So if today's message resonated with you, and you're ready to take the next step, I invite you to book a healing connection, a no fee clarity call with me. And this is a free 30-minute heart centered conversation where we'll gently explore what you're carrying, where you feel stuck, and one supportive next step to help you move forward. No pressure, no fixing, just presence and clarity. And you can use the link in the comments or video description to book your call. And I'll be right there with you to hold space and support your journey. And if you haven't already, I also invite you to join us in the Bridge to Healing community on Facebook. Now, this is a trauma informed, compassionate space where we meet weekly for sessions like this, where survivors like you are seen, heard, and supported as they rediscover their strength. Every week we gather for these healing step sessions, and all replays and resources are available inside the group to return to whenever you need them. So thank you for being here today, and thank you for showing up for yourself and your healing. I see your courage. I honor your resilience, and I look forward to walking with you again in our next healing step session. So take gentle care of yourself. Until then, bye bye.